How did one of the next big things in the hip-hop scene of the 2010s manage to fall off to the point where her tours got constantly cancelled? Music fans call her one of the biggest busts ever, and in 2023 her name is only associated with hate, controversy, negativity, and witchcraft. The short answer, Azealia Banks chose a quick route to early music retirement herself. The long answer, she spawned so many controversies throughout the last decade that we can make an entire tier list of her most outrageous public acts and statements. It's not a secret that people who create art can have their own issues and controversies just like anyone else. However, the mixture of negative people with tons of public attention more often than not leads to chaotic media catastrophes like Azealia Banks and her fall from stardom, or potential stardom. In 2011, the song 212 was released in the UK by a 19-year-old American rapper from New York, Azealia Banks. She was discovered through MySpace and signed to XL Recordings, a British record label, which is why it released in the UK first. The song features a sample from the song Float My Boat by Belgian DJ Jeff Martins and his brother Toon, who produced the track under the name Lazy J. The song's lyrics were explicit and provocative for the early 2010s and showcased Azealia Banks' aggressive rapping style and unique flow. Azalea's single incorporated elements of house and dance, resulting in the perfect blend of melodic hip-hop layered on top of house, perfect for any club setting. Initially, Azealia was targeting the European audience, especially the UK portion. Eventually, she succeeded in her goals, getting 212 to peak at number 7 on the UK singles chart and chart in several other countries, including Australia, Belgium, Canada, France, and the Netherlands. The song came with a music video that was dropped on YouTube and became a viral hit on the internet, receiving high critical acclaim and love from music fans all around the globe. Azealia Banks' hit song was extremely fresh and provocative in the best way possible. The song's been included in many publications' lists as one of the best songs of the decade, with Billboard citing it as one of the songs that defined the decade. The music video for 212, published on YouTube, was named one of the 100 greatest music videos by Rolling Stone, and the song itself made it to top 500 songs of all time by Rolling Stone as well. Such a warm welcome helped to establish Azealia Banks as a rising star in hip-hop and electronic music scenes. 212 was included on her debut EP 1991, which was released in 2012 and also met with a positive reception by the music world. That was the highest peak of Azealia Banks' career, which is both amazing knowing that she was only 20 years old when her first EP dropped, and depressing considering what came next. The first to get thrown under Azalea's hate bus was an American female rapper, Kreayshawn, who actually wanted to support Banks and tweeted a link to Azalea's 212 video clip to introduce her audience to the up-and-coming prospect. The problem was that the clip Kreayshawn tweeted was uploaded to one of the adult movie websites, which Banks didn't find funny, tweeting, "You're a dumb and you can't rap. I'll sit on your face. You think you're funny?" Of course, Kreayshawn didn't intend to throw shade, I guess you could call it, on Azealia, and just posted the wrong link without knowing. The two squashed the beef shortly after, although this anecdotal situation marked one of the earliest controversies under Azealia Banks' belt, one of many to come. The next target of Azealia Banks was ironically another young breakout star, Iggy Azalea. It all started with Iggy being on the XXL Freshman magazine cover back in 2012. Banks was furious with the choice, making her opinion heard. Iggy Azalea on the XXL Freshman list is all wrong. How can you endorse a white woman who called herself a runaway slave master? Just like the first time, it was a questionable situation as many expressed their outrage with Iggy's lyrics, and Banks' statement was supported by a lot of hip-hop fans. Iggy Azalea responded to the criticism with a tweet of her own, "You can't block my blessings, today I'm celebrating, get with it or kick rocks." However, it was far from the last interaction between the two Azaleas, as they had fired at one another multiple times in the following decade, going as far as encouraging Iggy to delete herself. Azalea's beef with Iggy started another spin-off feud with rapper T.I., who had signed Iggy Azalea to his record label Grand Hustle. He showed support for his fellow artist and spoke on Azealia Banks in one of his interviews. "If you spend half of your day getting money and the other half of your day counting money, you ain't got no time in your day to worry about nobody else." The next day, Banks responded on Twitter, stating that T.I.'s words do nothing to her or her career, and that he can keep on talking trash on some radio shows, as he pleases. Despite the level of heat this rivalry reached, the two collaborated on Iggy Azalea's project Digital Distortion, and seem to be generally chill about each other now. Another name on Iggy Azalea Banks' notorious list is an old school female rapper, one of the OGs, Lil' Kim. Initially, the two planned on dropping a collab together, although Kim decided to drop the ball on the alliance after Banks reportedly made a verse for Lil' Kim for a track they planned to make together and sent it to her. Azalea explained that due to the fact that Lil' Kim doesn't write her own raps, Banks saw it as a faster, more efficient way of getting the track done. Shortly after, Kim's assistant reached out to Banks, stating that Lil' Kim writes her music herself and doesn't need anyone's help. Eventually, Lil' Kim declined the collab, and Banks, who was already known as a very vocal individual, expressed her confusion in her favorite way, on Twitter. In her tweet dating October 5th, 2012, she stated, "It really sucks when someone you respect and admire is trying to act brand new when all you did was reach out and try to work. I can't lie, my little feelings are hurt. Women are so petty, but whatever. Your loss, not mine." To give Azalea credit, she eventually apologized in 2017 in an Instagram post elaborating on the situation. She said that she just wanted to make music with Lil' Kim for so many years, and that she apologizes if it appeared as if it looked like she was trying to write for Kim, adding that she was extremely confused and heartbroken when their collab fell through. Azalea's temper was to blame for yet another collision with hip-hop superstar Nicki Minaj, who caught flack from Banks in 2012. Once again, it all started with a friendly request on the part of the bigger star, Nicki Minaj, who invited Azalea to join her Europe tour. Banks turned the invitation down, explaining that she couldn't go because she had to finish her album during that time. It all seemed chill until Nicki Minaj's rather cryptic tweet with the only word being the hashtag man these chicks delirious. Nobody was quoted in the message, so there was no clear recipient, although Azalea Banks was quick to judge that it was targeted at her. She responded to Nicki on her favorite platform, once again, Twitter. "Did you mean delusional? Delirious was the wrong word, at Nicki Minaj." A day later, "Use good grammar when insulting others, and I don't believe rap game hierarchy. Sorry." Nicki didn't directly respond to the call out and went the silent route, although Azalea clearly wasn't over this situation. She aimed at Nicki Minaj again in 2015, calling her music basic, and once again in 2016, this time body shaming Nicki and telling her to slim down a bit and decrease her butt size. After that, Nicki Minaj sneak dissed Azalea featuring a fictional character that looked like Banks in her own mobile game Nicki Minaj the Empire. Yeah, that was a thing. Calling Azalea's music an obnoxious screech that goes for hours. The beef came to an end in 2017 when Azalea Banks reached out to Nicki on Instagram, apologized for her words, and told Nicki that she won't say a bad word about her from that moment on. That promise was broken in 2022 during Nicki's beef with female Atlanta rapper Lotto after the 2023 Grammy Awards show. Azalea Banks' name was nowhere near being mentioned in the beef, although she still thought it would be a splendid opportunity to berate her ex-enemy. It's becoming painstakingly clear that Nicki Minaj needs serious help, because this level of anger is not normal at all. The Barbs need to petition to get Nicki Minaj some rehab and mental health services through the Grammys Music Cars program. The irony is strong in that statement, and it seems like the two are once again on bad terms with each other. Riding on the wave of success after landing a hit single and well-received debut EP, Azalea began working with the biggest stars in the music industry. One of those was Pharrell Williams, who helped Banks work on her upcoming single, ATM Jam. Around the same time, she got her first major record deal with Interscope. The company saw a huge money-making opportunity and wanted Azalea Banks to be featured in Lady Gaga's 2013 project, Art Pop. Before the two even met in the studio, their relationship had a bad start. Lady Gaga was hyping up her next show and tweeted, "I'll be providing a list of acceptable attire for Swinefest throughout the week. Item 1, seashells. Item 2, seahorses. 3, starfish." Azalea was quick to fire, responding to the tweet accusing Gaga of copying her style. Sounds a lot like Azalea Banks' mermaid balls. Of course Gaga wants to play mermaid again. Pfft, not picking a fight. Just all looks so familiar. To me. Add to these rumors of Azalea trashing Lady Gaga with her industry friends, which Gaga actually managed to find out about, and you'll get one of the biggest what-ifs of the pop/hip-hop scene of the 2010s, as Lady Gaga decided to call off a potential partnership and add Azalea Banks to her own proverbial blacklist. The beef hasn't ended there, though, as Banks continued to slander Gaga throughout the next few years, accusing Lady Gaga of stealing her other ideas, tweeting, "Make sure you let them know where you got the title for Red Flame from. You stole that from the demo I sent you. Seriously, this one is free. Next time I'm charging. Team Katie." And even making remarks in 2022 saying that Lady Gaga desperately wanted Azalea to beef with Nicki Minaj, a wish she eventually made come true, although it's unlikely that it had anything to do with Gaga. Just like other stars on the list, Gaga wasn't too vocal about the beef, although there's a video where she elaborates on why exactly she dropped the ball on the collab with Azalea Banks.
No.
She's got a bad attitude.
Yeah.
Girl, we know Gaga.
Gaga, we've been known that. That's why we don't want her on there.
She broke.
The next one on Azalea Banks' list was Zayn Malik, a former member of the One Direction boy band. It all started with Banks seeing similarities between Malik's project, Like I Would, and her own works. She started with a light for Azalea trolling tweet. Damn, Zayn be moodboarding the F out of me. I'm not mad about this though, Zayn is a cutie pot. To which Malik allegedly responded with a tweet of his own. My at's too good for you, no lies. I see you reaching, but I don't care. So once again, Azalea had a problem with a fellow star who didn't want to respond directly, and as always, it led to a full-blown outrage from Banks. She called him a wide range of racial and gender-related slurs, going on an hours-long Periscope completely bashing Zayn to the ground and telling him that USA is about to teach Malik who not to F with. Zayn Malik responded with a family-friendly yet straight-to-the-point message, this time giving Azalea Banks her credit by tagging her in the tweet. At Azalea Banks, why you been saying nasty things about me? I wasn't talking about you, lol. Azalea seemed to be even more furious after this response, continuing to poke at him in multiple posts across social media. Do you, Malik, understand that you are a sand who emulates white boys' rendition of black malehood? Azalea Banks, who was supposed to headline the Rinse Born and Bred festival held in the UK, was booted from participating in it, and her Twitter page was suspended due to her comments. A couple of months later, in October, she issued a public apology to Malik, which he hasn't responded to this day. Rihanna, another high-profile target of Azalea Banks. In 2017, Rihanna spoke up against a controversial quote-unquote Muslim ban, which was just a ban on several countries that so happened to also have large Muslim populations, declared by Trump on her social media pages. She called the ban quote-unquote immoral and branded it as quote-unquote BS. Surprisingly, being a Trump supporter, Banks clapped back at Rihanna, questioning her being a true American, and shared a screenshot that had Rihanna's personal phone number on it. Rihanna, just like many celebrities before her, didn't want to give Banks more fame and made a bunch of cryptic posts that were allegedly aimed at Azalea. However, it wasn't the first heated situation between the two, as previously in 2016, Azalea was supposed to be featured on Rihanna's track La Dominadora, although the song wasn't included in the final version of the album. Banks, as always, chose violence and dropped an unreleased demo without notifying Rihanna prior to posting the audio. This time, no apologies were shared, so there's probably some animosity left after that situation. Azalea Banks' beef with Lana Del Rey was arguably one of the most heated exchanges Azalea had in her career, even for a troll of her tier. In 2018, it was a very well-known fact that Azalea Banks was ready to go at anyone in the music industry at any given moment, regardless of status, public image, or even genre. So a beef with one of America's most influential artists wasn't shocking for the fans. Yet again, it all began with no Azalea in sight, as it was actually Lana Del Rey's comments against Ye's public support for Trump. Lana wrote, Trump becoming our president was a loss for the country, but your support of him is a loss for the culture. I can only assume you relate to this personality on some level. Delusions of grandeur, extreme issues of narcissism, none of which would be a talking point if we weren't speaking about the man leading our country. As we mentioned above, Banks wasn't kind to those who spoke against then-president and wasn't shying away from making her opinion vocal. To me, this just looks like the typical white woman using a weakened target to pretend to be an ally, adding that she thinks that Lana was using Ye for her own vapid attempts to seem politically aware. Lana Del Rey came back at Banks in a surprising manner, challenging Azalea to pull up to her Addy and express any issues Banks had with Lana to her face. Lana Del Rey added that she would F Banks up in the case she decides to proceed with her online tirade against her, adding that Azalea could have been the greatest female rapper alive, but you blew your chance. Banks mocked Lana Del Rey's appearance, to which the latter responded with a recommendation for Banks to reach out to a psychiatrist so he could help Azalea Banks with her mental health. Azalea retaliated with a lawsuit threat, ending an altercation in typical celebrity fashion. Keep in mind that the beefs that I mentioned today were only just the tip of the iceberg, as the hate list of Azalea Banks has more than 50 celebrity names on it. and it seems like it won't reach its end anytime soon, with Banks continuing to attack anyone who crosses her path to this day. Other unhonorable mentions of Azalea's trolling career include Banks calling Cardi B an illiterate, untalented rat and a caricature of a black woman, labeling Kendrick Lamar uneducated when it comes to understanding the issues of racism, encouraging A$AP Rocky to come out of the closet, accusing Beyonce of putting other black female artists down, describing Elon Musk as a drug addict, and fighting with Russell Crowe at the Beverly Hills Hotel. Apparently, celebrities weren't enough for Azalea, as there were multiple moments when she went after entire communities, countries, and even nations. Not many rappers can proudly say that they had a beef with Israel, Ireland, and Brazil, while simultaneously firing shots at the president of the Philippines. However, you can get a clearer picture of what type of person Azalea Banks is when you search up what she's been doing in the meantime. In 2021, Banks uploaded an Instagram post where she showed the process of digging up the grave of her deceased cat Lucifer. In the very same clip, she showed how she took the animal's body and boiled it in a pot. According to Azalea, she did it to quote-unquote bring her cat back to life. Then she took the cat's skull and put it with the cologne and a champagne bottle to make an altar for her deceased pet. Shockingly, it wasn't the first occasion of Banks' frightening antics towards animals, as in 2016 she shared a video of cleaning a bloody mess in her closet, which was, in Azalea Banks' own words,
"Oh my God, 3 years worth of brujeria."
Azalea Banks is the quintessential perfect example of why the saying "separate the art from the artist" may sometimes get difficult to apply. There's no denying that Banks has a ton of talent, and at one point produced excellent music, although she did virtually everything possible to self-sabotage all her potential accomplishments. However, if you look deeper into Azalea Banks' beef history, you'll see a trend that she was always that person. It's just that the intensity and overall craziness of every altercation she had were growing over time. One thing can be said for sure: Azalea Banks never tried to fake her personality and stayed true to her views, even though the absolute majority of people may find them offensive and others malicious.